But what happens is most people don't realize what caused bitterness. And I meet a lot of people who know bitterness when they see it in other people. But I meet people who tell me that they know bitterness and they know what it feels like because they have felt it. But most people don't realize when the bitterness is coming within themselves. Look at her. Look at her. I think she's bitter. She ain't letting it go. And then you pray for a distance from, let it go. Father, Satan and Jesus. See, we cast everybody else's out from a long way because you don't really want to lay hands on bitter people. Not unless you're real spiritually strong, because they will fight you. So you send your praise. Yeah, you will. So we see it in other people, but we don't see it in ourselves. Have you ever looked at someone else and noticed they didn't look good, but you can't tell that you don't look good? That's the way it works, right? Okay, so we don't see it in ourselves. You don't see that you're getting bitter. And so even me talking with it like this, it almost sounds like sometimes people want to say, Pastor, did somebody tell you I was bitter? And this could be this the one day you decide to listen to church, come on the internet, come to church, and it's like, this is the day God says, now, I need you to stop right here, son, because I've been trying to talk to my son or daughter and let them know that it's not everybody else now. It's you. Well, I think I'll just go to another church. Stinking. You will go, walk down to another church, raise your hand, accept Jesus again. You already got him. Join that church. Get your bitter self in their choir. Sing with your bitter face. Do your bitter praise. What's wrong with you? Put your bitter self on that usher board and come on in. Park cars with your bitter self. Go on in there. Go on in there. Back it up. Back it up. Thank you. Come on out. Go. Get a part of the children's ministry with your bitter self. Sit down. Sit down. You can't. I ain't gonna be working with these kids. They working on I'm about to lose my mind. You're bitter. And you left your church and you went somewhere else bitter. Can't make it through a service without your pills. I'm just gonna keep me up. When you start taking blood pressure medicine like the sweet tarts, you got a bitter problem. That's a bitter pill. It's not sunflower seeds. This is not funny right now. I'm just trying to help somebody get through this. But okay, so where does it come from? Where does it come from now? Where does it come from? Bitterness comes from someone who believes that life has treated them unfairly. Okay, you've been treated unfairly, you've been treated unjustly. It begins to take a hold of a person at the time you start to go through a hard time. Something difficult happened. Or a tragedy happened. And so you didn't release it. It wouldn't let you go, even if you walked away from it. You had a hard time. I'm trying to go as slow as I can, but moving fast. You had a hard time. It was something difficult happened, or a tragedy happened. Okay? And I think now you're trusting to know that I'm trying to be very sensitive with this subject with you. I'm trying to show you where you got it from. It didn't just start last week, baby. You didn't get bitter over Tyrone. You got bitter 3 dudes ago. Tyrone just made the blister come up again. Tyrone is the reason the police came. That's all. That's what that was. Well, there were Gerald, Roderick, and Felice. All of them first. Now, Felice was the one that said it. Oh, man. We don't talk about Felice too much. But, all y'all used to talk to Felice too? Felice? Yeah, that's why he, but anyway. So anyway, so something bothered you. He tried to poison you with some salt. And so now you out with Tyrone and you just put a little bit, he just said, here, you want some salt? And you just lose it. Because you're thinking about when Felice put all of it on there that time. You didn't let that go. You salt is of the devil. You know, you just... So anyway, but it develops, and when a person has felt that they've been treated unjustly. The fact is that all of us have a potential of developing bitterness because everybody in this room faces some hard times. Everybody in this room has gone through some situation where we've been treated unjust, right? At some point in our lives. So all of us become candidates of being bitter. Boy, I wish I could stand here and tell you that this is just something I studied, but something I didn't live through. The reason I'm able to laugh about it now, I won't be laughing maybe next week, you know, because you do another one, it's like, this week we're talking about bitter again. See, when it's affecting you, you don't laugh about it. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can before it comes back. Because next week it'll be, God ain't playing. Y'all playing too much. Yeah. People going to hell every day, and you sitting up in here laughing. Come down, bring your no good self to this altar right now. Okay. So, when you're bitter, you start preaching like it and talking like it. So. But everybody in this room has gone through something, right? So no person is immune from trouble, not even the most successful, the most secure person. Trouble's gonna come. And so when it comes, it gives bitterness a chance to build up. David was king. And he knew success, not only on the battlefield, but he was successful as a king, and he was known for his desire to do what was right in the eyes of the Lord. And even so, he still had to flee for his life when his son led a rebellion against him. My boy is trying to kill me. He had a reason to become bitter. Son was bitter, and there's nothing wrong with an immediate emotional response. Everybody responds emotionally. I'm not telling you now, tomorrow somebody hits your car, you get out and go, this is great. They're going to call those people on you when you start acting like that. You know, there's a natural emotional response. But as you get a little older, you need to learn how to control your emotional responses. Because you have a mouth does not mean that you get to say everything you should want to say. Some of you don't have friends, not because you're not a friendly person, but because your mouth is out of control. Discouragement is an emotion that is intended by God to be a signal that you need to start praising Him. You need to start thanking Him so that your confidence and your faith will rise up within you. Now, what I just said made absolutely no sense to some of you. But when God gave you the emotional response of discouragement, it triggers something. It's to say, don't slam a door. Don't use bad language. Right then, something is going wrong. Thank God that you're still there to understand it. Start praising Him. Just say, Lord, I love you. The Father, be with me. Why? So that the answer, the Spirit can rise up inside of you, and it affects your mind now and then your mouth. Because when discouragement came, if you don't praise and honor God, you're going to say something that could get you into a lot more trouble. But what happens is that most people who feel discouragement don't turn to God, and they don't trust Him more. Instead, we stop trusting God and start blaming God, turning away from God. And that's when we don't want to come to church anymore. Let's just say what it is for real. I'm discouraged. I don't feel right. I don't want to come. So what I'll do instead, I'll go around other people. And I'll stop taking responsibility for my own life, and I'll start blaming other people. So now other people make me upset. Other people make me angry. Other people make me mad. God is not a respecter of people. Remember, it's not about favoritism with God. So I'm not going to come to church because every time I go there, even the church people don't help me. And so now Satan has you exactly where he needs you. You're blaming other people. Isn't it amazing that every one of us, even people you don't like, still go to the same hospital you go to? Called church. What would church be like if everybody was like you? Empty.